Game of Shows.
Welcome to Game of Shows.
Game of Shows.
Welcome to Game of Shows, the musicals quiz podcast for West End and Broadway fans everywhere. In this episode, two teams from hit West End musicals will go head-to-head to see just how much they really know about the world in which they excel. Tonight, please welcome our special guest contestants, Joel Montague, Nathaniel Morrison, Oliver Tompsett, and Tim Mahendran. Yes, it's Waitress versus and Juliet.
Game of Shows. Game of Shows. Game of Shows.
So we welcome from Waitress, Joel Montague and Nathaniel Morrison. Thank you, guys. And good evening. And from and Juliet, Oliver Tompsett and Tim Mahendran. Good evening. The rules are fairly simple. Points will be awarded for correct answers. Flashes of genius. Points may be deducted for incorrect answers or oblique stupidity. Bonus points are sometimes available. Conferring is sometimes allowed. So at the end of the show, the team with the most points will, of course, be declared the winner. But we're all friends here and none of it really matters. So, guys, relax. Enjoy yourselves. Sit back as we play Game of Shows.
Game of Shows.
Round one is called I Baked a Pie and I Liked It. Round one is a musical theatre general knowledge round. 2 points will be given for a correct answer. If you answer incorrectly or you can't answer, we will throw it to the other team for a possible bonus point. No conferring. And we start with Oliver. Ollie, which Andrew Lloyd Webber show opened at the Prince of Wales Theatre in 1989, where it ran for 3 years?
Evita?
Is incorrect. So here's what we do now. We offer it to the other team. Either of you can answer. So let's see if Waitress.
Are we still not allowed to confer?
I can't remember, Chris. Do they confer at this point?
I think we allow them to confer.
I think we do. Yeah, I think we do.
Well, I wasn't allowed to confer. Is that correct?
No, that's true. That's
correct.
why I'm thinking that they shouldn't be allowed to confer really at this point. Has anyone got an answer from the other team?
I'm just trying to go by process of elimination. Let them confer.
I think they're conferring. I think they are conferring.
No, we're not.
Can we put a curtain behind Joel, please? Because I'm sure he has most of those answers.
It's not. They're actually all Blu-ray films. In all fairness, he said
they're all blue films.
89.
Did he just say they're all blue films? Did he say that? He said that.
89. It wasn't Sunset Boulevard, was it?
It wasn't. Okay, so 0 points. It was Aspects of Love. It was Aspects of Love. I'm sorry.
Aspects.
It
was Aspects of Love.
Yeah.
Okay. Joel.
Oh, God.
Which former National Theatre boss directed Cats and Les Miserables?
I mean, I hope to God it's Trevor Nunn.
It is.
Oh.
Correct. Tim.
Yeah.
Which Broadway legend wrote music for La Cage aux Folles, Mame, and Hello, Dolly?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, no problem. We're going to pass it over to Waitress.
Jerry Herman.
Yes. Bonus point.
1 point.
Well done.
Oh, God.
Nathaniel.
No.
Yes, it has to happen, man. You cannot hide any longer. Come on, come out from behind that sofa. Come out from behind that sofa. Okay, Nathaniel. Which Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine collaboration won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama in 1985?
Oh my God. I want to say... I'm going to get this one. Tell me else. No, just went out. Sunday in the Park with George.
Is correct.
Yes.
It was Tell Me on a Sunday in the Park with George. Yes, well done.
Come on, what did I just say?
So close to saying Tell Me on a Sunday then. Oliver, back to you. In Billy Elliot, how old is Billy at the start of the story?
I'm going to go with 8.
Is incorrect.
That's what I would have said.
Right, I'm not going to lie. I was in it. This is really bad. I would say he was 12. I was going to say
close, but no cigar. He was 11. But pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, Tim was going to say that.
I was going to say a point to Anne Juliet and Tim and
Joel, this is a question. This is a question for you.
Okay.
Joel.
Yeah.
6 profiles the 6 wives of Henry VIII. Can you name them all?
Yeah. How about Catherine of Aragon.
That's it. Good. Correct. Yes, I can.
Yes,
Thank you.
I
Moving on.
Moving on.
Go on then. Do it.
Aragon. Do we get a point each? I hope so.
No, you get 1 point if you get them all.
Oh, man.
We got 5. We got 9. Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Catherine Parr, Catherine Howard, Anne of Cleves.
Oh, well done.
That's history.
Good
though.
stuff.
Everyone should got to know that one.
So proud of you, Joel.
Thanks.
So proud.
Tim, alongside Josh Groban, Kerry Ellis and Adam Pascal, which American actress and singer took on the leading role of Florence in the concert version of Chess at the Albert Hall in 2008?
What I would like to remind all of you people is that I was 12 years old at this point. I think it was Idina Menzel.
It was indeed Adele Dazeem.
Have you
Yes.
seen that? Yeah, Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
Yeah.
Okay, Nate, your question. Nathaniel, the show In the Heights is set in Washington Heights in the northern part of Manhattan among a community of immigrants from which Caribbean country?
Jamaica?
Is incorrect. So let's move it across to the other team.
Come on, a bonus point for Anne Juliet.
This is upsetting me.
Dominican Republic.
Is the right
Yes.
answer. So listen, guys.
No one
Well done. Guys, just to let you know, that is the end of round 1. Congratulations.
Game of shows.
At the end of round 1, Anne Juliet are on 3 points, but taking an early lead with 7. It's Waitress.
Game of shows.
Round 2 is called Oops, I Baked It Again.
Very good.
In round 2, you do work as a team.
Oh, thank God.
So you will have 30 seconds in each team to name as many examples of a certain thing as possible in a given category. But to make sure it's fair, A or B?
A.
Okay.
I was going to say B.
Oh.
Damn it.
Okay, right. So category A. So you are going to have 30 seconds to name as many of Sweeney Todd's victims as possible.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so these are people who are murdered by Sweeney Todd. Your time starts now.
Butcher, the baker, the mayor,
The dentist.
Joanna, and is his name Anthony? What the other Mrs. Lovett? Does he kill Mrs. Lovett?
The
Wicked.
gardener.
Lawrence.
Man 1, ensemble member 1, ensemble member 2.
Very good. Stage manager
Man
1.
4, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5.
The orchestra. That counts for 8.
All 3 of the male swings, all 3 of the female swings. In
Michael
rehearsals,
Ball.
when the
And that's
director's
time. That is time.
It's
Michael Ball,
I
Amanda
have to say,
Staunton.
that is time. You can stop. You can stop torturing yourself.
Thompson.
I have to say,
No stone unturned.
that
Everyone.
considering you didn't, there's actually 5 unnamed men who are killed, and I think you mentioned 4 of them.
Wow.
And there are 3 unnamed women, and you mentioned 3 of them. And he did kill
Yes.
Mrs. Lovett. Right,
Excellent.
Chris?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hang
You
on a second.
failed
Are
to
we going to
mention-
lose because of M1, M2, M3, M4?
It's not my
I
fault
hope so.
that They
I
didn't
hope.
name the characters.
It's a
This
fickle
day and
business.
age, every person should be
You
named.
didn't mention, just very quickly, you didn't mention Judge Turpin, who he famously murders.
The judge.
You didn't mention Lucy, who, spoiler alert, the beggar woman turned out to be his missus. And you didn't mention Pirelli or Beadle Bamford. Let's move on to category B, which is for the other team. You have 30 seconds to name as many of the students in Les Miserables as you can.
Oh,
The
for
students.
God's sake.
And your time starts now.
Combeferre,
Good job.
Grantaire, Angelas, Marius, male 1, male 2,
Gavroche.
male 3,
No.
male 4, male 5,
Male 5.
6. Sometimes a resident director when they're down people. Sometimes he's
Yes.
going over.
Yes.
He's been on stage. Nick Greenshields, I'm going to mention.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
go.
Just link Cameron in there as well.
Let's go with actors. Bradley Jaden. Let's go with, who else?
And that is time.
That's enough, right?
I don't know whether you get a point for Rob Houchin, but I think you should.
Come on.
You should.
Well, you can't get points for Marius and Rob Houchin. You can't get both. They are the
I think
same
I should
person.
get one for Nick Greenshields and Chris Key. I definitely think I should get one for that.
One for Cameron McIntosh.
Yeah.
He's never been.
He's definitely been
He's
on.
never been on stage. He's been pushing people on.
Combeferre, Grantaire,
I can't remember
Marius, Enjolras. That was 4, yeah?
who are the others.
There was Courfeyrac,
Wow.
Fouilly,
I mean,
Fouilly, Joly, Jean Prouvé, and L'Aigle were the ones you could have had. But you did great. You got Combeferre, you got Grantaire, you got Marius, and you got Enjolras. So well done. Chris, that was 4, right?
That was 4, yeah. 4.
Well done, guys. Tough round.
Oh.
But you did great. That is the end of round 2.
Game of shows.
At the end of round 2, and Juliet are now on 10 points, but still fractionally in the lead with 11 is Waitress.
Game of shows.
Round 3 is called... No. Round 3 is called Take It From an Old Max Martin Song.
oh, very good.
Strong. Strong.
I like that. That's good. That's the best
It's good.
one.
Okay, in this round, you'll have the choice of an easier question where you can get 2 points or a harder question for 4 points. You can choose to go home or away.
Oh, I like that.
So, Nathaniel and Joel, we're going to start with you. If you choose home, you will hear a question on Waitress for 2 points.
Okay.
If you choose away, it's an and Juliet question for a potential 4 points. So, what do you want to pick?
Nate, sorry, should we be adventurous? How about if we go away, you boys have to go away? How about that?
Both go away. Both go away. Let's do it.
Oh, are you going away?
Yeah, we'll both
Joel?
go away. We'll all be
Rob,
adventurous.
I
Okay, guys, you've chosen away. Here's your question on And Juliet.
Oh.
So, And Juliet is based on the musical output of hit songwriter Max Martin.
Mhm.
What nationality is Max Martin?
Nate, I'd say he's American, but I'm probably going to be wrong.
I would have said
Or is he
Max
is he
Martin.
Canadian?
He,
Oh, that's really hard.
He could be Scandinavian, bro.
The show.
with a name like Max Martin, that's a wild one, isn't it?
Right.
Look at these boys; they know as well. Can we try and read their body language to get an idea of what the answer is? Oh my gosh!
Right. What are we going with? I'd have gone more like
Swedish, you
I'd
reckon?
have said Scandinavian, like you said.
Well, I was going to say Scandinavian. I said Scandinavian before. Max Martin. It's got like a
Right. Okay.
vibe. Scandinavian. We're going to go with Scandinavian.
Scandinavian.
You
That's
just
not
tell
an
us.
answer, though, is it? Scandinavian.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for an actual
Shit,
nationality.
Oh,
whether
what?
it's either Norway, Sweden, or Denmark. Nate, pick one. I'd say between Sweden and Denmark, personally, if I was going to pick. But
Yeah, let's just go Swedish.
Sweden, we're probably wrong.
Swedish.
Okay, Swedish is right. Well done, boys.
Yeah.
Okay, so, And Juliet, are you going home or away? You can go. You're going.
How many times do we say sugar, butter, flour in the show?
Yeah.
No, we'll go away.
Okay.
Go away.
Come on, boys.
Apart from Jessie Muller, Catherine McPhee, and Sarah Bareilles herself, and Lucy Jones, can you name any of the actresses who have played Jenna in New York or London?
Is it Nicolette Chloe? Is that her name?
Nicolette Robinson, isn't it?
Nicolette Robinson.
John Sparks.
Yeah, Jordan Sparks.
Betsy Wall.
Yeah.
Good. 4 points. They're only easy if you know them, though. They're difficult if you don't know. So well done. So that's the end of round 3.
Game of shows.
At the end of round 3, let's go to Chris and see what that has done to the overall scores. Chris.
At the end of round 3, with 14 points, and Juliet, but still in the lead with 15, is Waitress.
Close.
Game of shows.
Round 4 is called Never Ever Getting Rid of the Backstreet Boys.
These are great. I love these.
In this round, you can win points by telling us something about your own experiences in the theatre industry, on stage, something, a mishap, an embarrassment, an exciting event, or something embarrassing, hopefully. And we're going to start with Nathaniel Morrison.
Okay, so there's two things that happened while I was doing Panto. One of them was that the genie didn't quite appear when the genie was supposed to appear. So all you heard was, rub the lamp, poof. And all you heard over the tunnel was, oh, woo, yeah! That was the first one. Second one, genie again. They decided to put too much dry ice on the floor, so I absolutely stacked it. Apparently, we found out that there was a lady who actually wet herself with laughter in the stalls. Yes, that's another one. Third one is Stevie Wonder. I'm literally like first, I think it was the second show in West End, and I'm doing For Once in My Life. I'm like, for once in my life, I get a complete brain. And I'm like, vowel sounds down, bounce down, bounce down, bounce down, there we go. They're my two embarrassing stories.
They were the three fastest embarrassing stories you're ever going to hear.
It.
There you go.
Oh my God, I'm exhausted just listening to it. Thank you, Nathaniel. Let's go, Tim.
When I was doing Spring Awakening, Luke Shepherd was directing it, and there was a lot of the show as ensemble. We came on and we sat and we watched the action, them ones, and basically there's a scene between Bender and Melchior where he whips her with a switch, a long stick, and it was in completely the wrong space. So Luke then came in after the show. We did notes, we were only in previews, and he said, "Listen, Tim, I need you to come on earlier. I need you to move the switch to put it in the right place, okay? Just please don't forget that because it's really important." And I was like, okay, sure. And the next day came and previews happening. And he came up for and he's like, do not forget that switch. You cannot forget that switch. And in my head, it was straight after Touch Me. And so I was like, okay, throughout the whole start of the show, I was like, the switch, do not forget the switch. First job, I was like, do not forget it. And then it came after Touch Me. But there's an intimate scene between the two of them where they sort of, their love is very evident. They sort of have a chat. Then there's another scene, and then there's a whipping scene, right? So I'm thinking about switch. I come off from Touch Me. Stage manager gives me the switch. I walk on stage, and I see that no one else is coming on stage with me to watch the action. And I panic. And so there's just two of them by the desk having this intimate scene. And I've walked on, and everyone's looking at me. So I was like, I've got to make this a thing. So I walked over to the desk and I sat down, looked at them both, placed it down, and then watched the rest of the scene like this. This intimate scene on my own, like this, just watching it. And then as soon as they started singing, I sprinted off stage. And then in the interval, Luke came up and he was like, "You didn't forget that switch, did you?"
That was totally Luke's fault. That was Luke Shepherd's fault.
Yeah, no, it's got to be that one.
Great. Let's go, Joel.
So when I was doing falsettos, the amazing Laura Pitt-Pulford, if anyone knows her, she's incredible. Me and Ollie and Daniel boys decided to really do her over with the last matinee gag. We were thinking for weeks, what can we do? Oh, we're frozen. Oh, no, I'm not.
You
what can we do for weeks? And then I was like, right, there was a dream sequence. And it was when they did this thing called March of the Falsetto. It was like a weird dream. It was awful. It's like the worst part of the show, in my opinion. And so I ordered masks of her headshot, and we all went on dressing our costumes with masks of Laura Pitt-Pulford. And that was our last matinee, and they couldn't find me because it was the last day. So sorry, Scarlett.
So mature and,
thank you.
and responsible. Fabulous. Thank you. And last but not least, Ollie.
Yes. Oh, where to start?
Lovely. I've been in the business so many years.
This wasn't technically on stage, but I was late for Mamma Mia. I remember being late for warm-up and charging up the escalator in the heat of summer and having a very heavy rucksack like on my shoulder. And I had one of my thumbs under the rucksack. I can't remember which side it was, but I had one thumb under the rucksack, like pinned to my chest because I was holding this rucksack, sprinting up the side of the escalator that you're meant to run up. And I tripped on the escalator and I couldn't get my hand free. No. And so I reached out and the only thing I grabbed was a sort of older lady's silk sort of summer dress.
No.
Skirt, sorry, that was just elasticated, and my thumb was trapped under and so the other hand just sort of grabbed and I pulled it down. And the worst thing as I pulled it down, my cheek went up against sort of her cheek and her sort of the higher part of her outfit. And she did mortified and in shock. She's like, "Oh God, excuse me." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Her husband, older man, was going, didn't know what to do, and I just carried on running up the escalator, like devastated, kind of semi-laughing. And then during the show, I'm pretty certain she was in the audience.
Oh.
No.
I don't think she would have known it was me, but I remembered the very bright-coloured chiffony elasticated summer outfit.
You remember
My mum is
wiping
still
your face against the
mortified.
dahlia.
and I've definitely done similar to what Nathaniel did with lyrics in songs. I remember doing the whole of We Were Rocky. I went, "Buddy on a bum in a bit that can I got food and I want to be around about
And why is it when you forget a lyric, you try to sound like an instrument? Like, what is that?
Exactly.
Like, you think, I'll merge into the band. Like, it's not working.
I scattered. I gave them scat and vowel sounds like bon java don't dee dong, ben java don't ba ba ding.
But that sounds great. There's nothing wrong with that. That's bloody perfect.
Oh, there was a lot wrong with it. And they told me in the notes the next day.
They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Guys, thank you so much. Chris, what do you make of that?
Do you know what? I think that has been the hardest one. 5 episodes in, I think that's the hardest one to score, because I think they were all of equal value there. So I'm actually going to do something I've never done before. Every person is going to get 5 points.
Yay!
Game of Shows.
At the end of round 4, and Juliet are on 24, but still in the lead with 25 is Waitress.
Game of Shows.
Let's do round 5, which is called Let's See What Shakespeare Can Do. As our audience may be aware, we are joined this evening by 4 exceptional West End vocalists. So it's time to dust off the pipes. Chris is going to deliver a lyric to you. You are tasked with the job of singing the next lines of the song, line or lines of the song. You can keep going as long as you want. In fact, the longer you go, maybe the more points you'll get. Joel, Chris is going to give you the first line of your song. Thank you, Chris.
Here we go. Welcome, monsieur. Sit yourself down and meet the best innkeeper in town.
God, I know what it is. Welcome, monsieur.
Come on.
As for the rest, all of them crooks, looking the best and cooking the books. Seldom do you see honest man like me, a gent with good intent who's intent to be everyone. A master of the Is that enough?
Butler to the grave.
That is enough. That is good.
Oh, that's more than enough.
Joel
Joel.
pretended like he didn't know the words.
No, honestly, lame is my words. Honestly, really bad.
Next one is Oliver. Chris is going to give you your line coming up now.
Your story's sad to tell. A teenage ne'er-do-well.
Most mixed up something delinquent on the block. That's it.
Oh, can we carry on?
Well, that is correct.
What is it?
Most mixed up non-delinquent on the block.
On the blob, your future so unclear now. What's left of your career now? Can you?
Thank you.
That's
exactly what they
right.
sang. Yeah.
What is it?
Beauty School Dropout from Greece.
Oh.
I didn't know it. Didn't know it. I'm sorry. It's the best I've got.
Nathaniel, here comes your line.
Here you go, Nathaniel. It won't be easy. You'll think it's strange.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Something illusion, a sound, a shamble, summon, a sun, not a son, and a sound, like a 60s and 7s with you.
Not that yet.
From me, Argentina.
Hey, boy. Yes!
Yes.
Wild days.
Yes.
I'm ready to stand. Forget my promise. Don't keep your distance.
Oh, come on, that is point. That's point.
I love it.
Right.
I love it that Laurence
We
said.
know so many people
Laurence
that
said.
singers that don't sing words. We know a lot of them. They don't sing words. It's just vowels. It's fine.
Just about. Last but not least, Tim Mahendran. So, Tim, thank you, Chris. Here comes your line.
Here we go, Tim. I've given you sunshine. I've given you dirt.
You've given me nothing but heartache and hurt. Come
Keep
on.
going. Keep going. Any more?
Grow from
Okay, so thank you, guys. So, Chris, what scores are you allocating in round 5?
Okay. So at the end of that round, I've given Joel 2 points.
Thank you.
I give Ollie 1 point.
Yes, true.
Apologies.
Fair.
Thank you. I give Tim 2 points.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant.
Well done,
Thank
Tim.
you.
And then I had to give Nathaniel 5 points.
Oh.
You better sing, boy. Sing.
Guys, that was the end of round 5. Thank you very much.
Game of shows.
So at the end of round 5, let's go back to Chris and see what that has done to the overall scores.
The end of round 5. On 27 points, we have and Juliet, but still in the lead. Now with 32 points is Waitress.
Game of shows.
Round 6 is called Overprotected? Nope. Club Knocked Up.
That's the favourite. That's the favourite.
Now, guys, we're playing this game, as everyone can tell, we're playing the game remotely over Zoom during lockdown, so I cannot ask you to put fingers on buzzers. So now we're going to ask you just to come up with your buzzer noise, something that relates to your show, some noise that you can identify yourself so you can buzz in. So let's begin. Please, Oliver, what will your buzzer noise be?
Hear me, baby, one more time.
I love it. Fantastic. Joel?
Mine's got to be Dawn.
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. Tim?
Everybody.
Yes.
Nice.
I really want to see that show. And Nathaniel?
Sugar butterflower.
Beautiful. Okay, good. So hang on to those, guys, because this round is a buzzer round. You are going to hear 5 clues. You can buzz in at any point. The sooner you buzz in, the more points you are going to win. For 5 points.
This man was born in 1946.
For 4 points.
He was knighted in 1996 for his services to theatre. Ollie
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
is the wrong answer.
Okay,
we can
so
carry on.
we carry on with the clues. Waitress. Chris, if you could read the rest of the clues.
So, as a young man, he was a stagehand at Theatre Royal Drury Lane.
Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Joel?
Sir Cameron McIntosh?
It most
That is
certainly
correct.
is. Yes, well done, well done. Well, it was a tough one. It was a tough one.
was a tough
Top of
The
my head.
other 2 clues would have been in 2008, The Telegraph ranked him as number 7 most powerful people in British culture. And for 1 point, you would have had, he is the world's most successful theatre producer, which is, of course, Sir Cameron McIntosh.
Okay. Next question. Here we go.
Okay, for 5 points.
This theatre opened in 1977 in London.
For 4 points.
This theatre is located near Covent Garden.
Dawn.
Joel?
It was New London, but it's now called the Gillian Lynn Theatre.
Wrong.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. That is near Covent Garden, but so are other theatres. So we can give the remaining points to the other team. So you guys are frozen out. Guys, you don't need to buzz in. You're just going to hear the rest of the clues and you can pick up the bonus points. So the third clue is this theatre is named after the founder, Donald Albury, and his wife's middle name, Margaret. This theatre has 251 seats. And former artistic directors include Sam Mendes and Michael Grandage. And you can come up, either of you can come up with an answer, or
The Donmar Warehouse.
Yeah.
is the right answer. Well done.
Aye.
Fantastic.
Good.
Sexy.
Okay.
How many points do we give that?
5.
I think you get a bonus point for that.
Yeah, one point each.
Question number 3 for 5 points.
This actress and singer was born in 1935.
For 4 points.
She made her Broadway debut in The Boyfriend in 1954.
For 3 points.
She won an Oscar in 1965.
For 2 points.
She was married to film director Blake Edwards until his death.
Joel.
Julie Andrews.
Correct.
Yeah,
2 points.
well done. Good.
And the one remaining clue would have been
here.
she is most famous for lead roles in The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins, which was Julie Andrews.
Good.
Well
Great
done.
steal, Joel. Well done. So the final question in this round. Here we go.
Question 4 for 5 points.
This writer-director was born in 1926.
For 4 points.
He is one of a small group of EGOT winners, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
For 3 points.
He was married
Hit me, baby, one more time. Can I get
That's
it?
Ollie.
4 points rather than
Go on.
the clue?
Yeah, go on. 4 points.
Al Prince.
Is wrong.
He's wrong. It was a brave guess, though.
That was a really good
So-
shout.
Good guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
that was
guess.
a brave guess
Sure,
because
he's
you're
one
talking about
EGOT.
certainly the right generation. You're in the right generation there, but Hal Prince wasn't a writer director, was a director. So let's give the rest of the clues to the
The
other.
Waitress team.
He was married to the actress Anne Bancroft until her death in 2005. His early works include the films Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles.
No.
Yeah.
Joel?
Mel Brooks.
Is the right answer. Well done. The last
Yes.
clue you were about to hear was his musical The Producers ran in the West End at Drury Lane for 3 years. So well done. That's a bonus point again for Waitress. So that's great. That is the end of round 6.
Game of shows.
So at the end of round 6, with 28 points, we have and Juliet, but still in the lead on 36 is Waitress.
Well done, guys. Fantastic.
Game of shows.
Round 7 is called Bake It Baby One More Time.
Nice.
Round 7 is a quick fire round. So in your teams, you will have 1 minute of rapid fire questions and you get 1 point for a correct answer. And who do you want to start with? Chris?
Let's start with Waitress.
Let's start with Waitress. Okay, 60 seconds and the time starts now. What type of cabaret performer features in Kinky Boots?
Track race.
Correct.
On what type of transport might you find skimble shanks in Cats?
Railway train.
Correct.
Taboo is based on the work of which 80s pop star?
Or George.
Correct.
What mode of transport famously arrives on stage in Act 2 of Miss Saigon?
Helicopter.
Correct.
Name the famous London street that's home to multiple West End theatres, including the Gielgud and the Apollo.
Shaftesbury Avenue.
Correct.
What musical opens with the song All That Jazz?
Chicago.
Correct.
Name the Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty musical set in the Caribbean.
Once on this island.
What's that, Alan?
Correct.
The opening song of Book of Mormon features which friendly greeting?
Hello.
Hello.
Correct.
What type of shop does Mrs. Lovett run?
Pie shop.
Pie shop.
And that's time.
Yep. Well done. So, stand by and Juliet. You now have 60 seconds and your time starts now.
Where does the story of Mac and Mabel take place?
Chicago.
Hollywood.
What musical features the Artful Dodger?
Oliver.
Oliver.
Correct.
Who took the lead role of Vivian in Pretty Woman on Broadway?
Samantha Barks.
Correct.
Who sings The Music of the Night?
Phantom.
Phantom of the Opera.
Correct.
Which band features in the musical Jersey Boys?
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Correct.
Which musical features puppets as the lead roles Princeton,
Avenue
Kate
Q.
Munster? Correct.
Mamma Mia features music of which Swedish band?
ABBA.
ABBA.
Correct.
Complete the lyric. Bobby, 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 baby, Bobby.
Bobby,
Baby.
baby.
Darling.
No,
Baby, Bobby, baby, darling. Something like that. Good. Net pass.
In Les Mis, how does Javert commit suicide?
Jumping off a bridge.
Correct. And that's time.
And that is the end of the final round.
Game of Shows.
So, after all is said and done, all we can do now is go to Chris and ask him to tally up the total scores, and we'll see where we stand at the end of the quiz. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, so both teams did amazingly well, but at the end of round 7, the final scores are as follows. With 36 points, we have and Juliet, but remaining in the lead for the whole competition with 45 points. The winners tonight are Waitress. Well done.
Come on, Waitress.
Come on.
So we commiserate with Tim Mahendran and Oliver Tompsett, who did brilliantly all evening, but just couldn't quite keep up with Joel Montague and Nathaniel Morrison from Waitress. Yeah. But congratulations, everyone. Thank you so much for taking part.
Thank you.
It's all about taking part.
And thank you so much to Chris Stoddart for doing a great job keeping the scores.
Very much.
And I will see you next time for episode 6. Thank you for listening to Game of Shows, the musicals quiz podcast for West End and Broadway fans everywhere, featuring special guests from the West End. You can hear more from our special guests in our bonus episodes, and please be sure to subscribe to the show in iTunes or Spotify or your preferred podcast platform. And you can find us on Instagram at Game of Shows Quiz or on Twitter at shows_quiz. Game of Shows was created by me, Laurence Mark Wythe, and developed with Chris Stoddart and is a Shah Solar production. Thank you and goodbye.
Game of Shows.
How many skirts have you pulled down on the escalator? Huh?
Game of Shows.